Jon Sumrall is the new head coach at Florida. Now, they were in the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. So if you're going to go from Lane Kiffin to pretty much anyone else who was available in this coaching cycle, I get that you're going to be disappointed. You shouldn't be disappointed about Jon Sumrall. Truthfully, many of you don't know a lot about Jon Sumrall, which is totally fine. Others of you, pretty much the rest of you, are scarred in the Florida fan base because you just remember going to the G5 ranks in the state of Louisiana and bringing in a guy who ultimately failed. So, I have taken a totally new approach on head coaching hires. Ever since freezing cold takes threw my old Jonathan Smith take in my face earlier today, where I said, and I quote, Jonathan Smith will win at Michigan State. He got fired today, unceremoniously. I'm not predicting anything with coaching hires anymore. I'm not even going to predict it with Lane. Maybe it'll work out. I guess it'll work out. But I can give personal testimony for who you're hiring. I can give my personal feel on the hires. So Jon Sumrall is going to be compared to Billy Napier, lazily, because he's from the G5 ranks in the state of Louisiana. And hey, man, we just hired a guy from the G5. And since he didn't work out, no G5 coach could ever work out at Florida. Now, of course, that's pretty insane and pretty low-hanging fruit thinking. I will tell you this. There are scenarios where Jon Sumrall doesn't work out at Florida. If Jon Sumrall doesn't work out at Florida, it's not going to be because of where he came from. It's going to be because of what he lacks. And that could go as much as him coming from the NFL as it could from him coming from high school. He could have been a head coach in the Big Ten. Does he have the critical factors and characteristics that it takes to win at Florida? So I know Jon. So I've been around him. So I know some of the things he has. Very, very much a type A, very much an alpha personality. Now, Will Muschamp is too. So I know that doesn't guarantee anything at Florida. He's very intentional with the way he structures his program. I think most importantly, he's very flexible. So, you could find especially a young head coach's resume and you can pick it apart and say, oh, look at that stat. Look at this stat. Well, this is not a guy who is unflinchingly rigid. He's rigid towards one thing, and that's winning. Outside of that, Jon Sumrall is the kind of guy who could go about things one way, 1 year, and if it delivers C- results, wad it up, throw it in the garbage, and say, we're going to do it a totally different way. If that means me changing my philosophy, if it means me hiring new staffers, he's not just totally married to one way of doing things. He's married to winning as a concept. That's what he's married to. But the other important note is he's ascending. So it's my personal opinion that Sumrall is going to be a big name in college football for a long time. I think most people who are around him feel that way. But he's got a pretty infectious personality. So there are guys who totally suck at football who have infectious personalities who could fool you into believing in them. So it doesn't matter. Just because someone likes you doesn't mean you're a good football coach. I actually think he is a likable, good football coach. Likable not in a sense that he's cuddly or warm or, overly fun to be around. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being around Jon Sumrall. But Jon Sumrall could also stick a knife in the side of your neck if it means getting an extra 3 points to win a game. Hey, guys, do me one favor. Check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you are, great. If you're not, it's that easy. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps us do the show this way forever. All right, back to the clip, which is the kind of attitude that I would want if I were a Florida fan. He walks in knowing the score, though. What I will tell you in talking to him a couple of times over the past week is he's keenly aware of the vibe around Florida. He is not stupid. He is keenly aware that they wanted Lane Kiffin there, and they didn't get him. And they got him instead. Jon Sumrall is the head coach at Florida. And he is keenly aware of who the last head coach was at Florida. And he is keenly aware of what level of football he came from, what state he came from, and what he failed to do. And it is only natural to draw the conclusion that the fan base will be very skeptical when they go that route again. He knows all that. I know because he's told me he knows all that. And so he's the kind of guy who says it before you have to say it. Now, I don't think for a moment that it gives him any hesitance in taking the job or having full confidence that he can do the job. And I think in very, very short order, Florida folks will buy into it. And not just because you have no other choice. I think Florida folks will buy into Jon Sumrall because he will get a really, really good staff in place down there, and they'll execute the vision. And I think he'll win there. Absolutely think he'll win there. I think there was a reason why his name was involved in every one of these coaching searches, and it's not just because his representation's really good at floating his name out there. It's because a lot of people view him as the next big thing in coaching circles. So here's the other thing I'll just ask, and this is out of my control. It's out of Jon Sumrall's control, really. Is Florida going to be what Florida's supposed to be? Very, very open-ended question. There is a working theory out there, and I really can't prove the validity of this. I know everyone has their theories. There's a working theory out there that the reason Lane Kiffin sort of looked at Florida and then looked past Florida was because when they raised the hood on the program, they didn't really like what was inside the engine. There were some things that were turnoffs. Now, anytime you ask people to give you specifics, they hem-haw around, as Meemaw would say. Well, if that is the state of affairs down there, then Florida's got to make its mind up how serious Florida is about winning football games and being a successful program, because I don't really care who you just hired. If you don't have the under-the-hood portion in a state of comparability to the other big-time programs in the SEC, it doesn't matter who's in the driver's seat. So I say that kind of open-ended because I think it's a little unfair to just throw that stuff out there. Oh, man, Florida's a mess. Really? Give me particulars. I don't have them. Maybe not say that then. So I ask the question, is Florida what Florida's supposed to be? If Florida is what Florida's supposed to be, from a support standpoint, from an investment standpoint, then I think Jon Sumrall will win there. I think there's a world where you look around 3 or 4 years from now and say, in retrospect, I think we got the best guy for the job. Regardless of who we originally chased, maybe we end up getting the best guy for the job. Wouldn't shock me at all, because nothing that happens in coaching hires ever shocks me anymore. It's been a really, really fun ride. I was at a Quick Trip as recently as 3 a.m. this morning on our way back from Auburn, Alabama, where we were at the Iron Bowl last night, of course, fueled by Quick Trip. Appreciate you guys. And it's not part of the tour officially because the tour is just the regular season, but I can report that we will be at the SEC Championship game Saturday. And that could be not the last announcement about that game this week, mind you. So just stay tuned for that. Got a huge crowd watching, like 16 or 17,000 live viewers. Welcome, everyone. Happy to have you. We got a long way to go on the show tonight. We are live as live can be, high atop frigid Nashville, Tennessee. Just make sure you are subscribed to the channel because this is all we do. When the college football season's over, what do we talk about? College football. NBA trade deadline, never heard of her. Could not care less. Respectfully, NFL. Other folks can handle that. It's just college football around here. And we get to do it the way we want to because of you subscribing to the channel. Look at that. We're dangerously close to 500,000. So we would appreciate you getting us over the finish line.